Hey, what's happening, Mr. Robert Antonin? How you doing today?
What's going on, Constance Cardi? How you feel, sis?
Oh, I am doing absolutely spectacularly wonderful. It's a new day, new week, and it's good to be among the land of the living. That's for dang on sure. And so I'm just happy to be here to talk about Black love as we do every Tuesday and every Thursday.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're in the church. You say I needed you to say you're blessed and highly favored and finish that whole thing on out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I ain't got the speech, but how you been? What you been up to, homie?
I'm good. You know, I'm trying to get in the gym, get that beach body ready. I mean, I don't even know if I'm gonna make it to a beach this summer, but if I should happen to make it to a pool or a beach, I'm gonna be ready.
Well, shoot, I got a whole lot of beaches that I'm about to head to this summer. That's for damn sure. So I got to get my stuff together too. Because listen, this COVID, I done gained 8 pounds, Rob.
Well, you know my story. I think I probably picked up about maybe even 14 pounds. Santa Claus belly working over here, sis.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get real serious. I actually did some spin right before actually about 2 hours ago. No, an hour ago. I spin. Oh, what happened to Robert? I did some spin today, y'all. So I'm trying to get it in. I ain't been to the gym. I try to go to the gym every morning. But today I went ahead and did some spin this afternoon before this broadcast. But before we get started, I want to know where you're hailing from. I see a lot of folks. I see a lot of people chiming in on this very topic. And you know, as always, this is a monologue and a dialogue and not a monologue. So just like you doing, you talking back to us, you talking black to us, and that's exactly what we want. So I see where your mindset is. I see where you are. I see what you're saying. I see what you're doing. What happened to you, Rob?
Yeah, you kept talking with us.
I got you. I got your back, homie. I got you. Ain't skipping a beat.
What you say while I was gone?
No, I finished what I was talking about. How I did spin this evening. Up in my gym upstairs. Okay. So there was a Zoom spin. They were doing all DMX music. So I did that little something this evening, and I'm trying to get it back in. I used to double up at the gym. I would go in the morning and then I would spin in the evening, and that got a lot of my weight off. And now, I'm back to, so it ain't working. But anyway, what I was telling the people is that I was asking them, where are they hailing from? Because we have people that always come from all over the world, all over the country. Yeah. So we want you to put that in the chat. I see
from Arizona already, right?
Yes. Man. No, YouTube didn't cancel Vicky Dillard. God her. She comes on a little bit earlier than we do. But yeah, so where are you guys from? Are you from North Kakalaki? I see Reese is from Washington State. What's happening, Reese? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
As you know, we always want to talk to you. So please. Oh, we got Joel from Ottawa, Canada. Cool. That's what's up. Rachel from Columbus, Ohio.
Be
what
more.
Up?
You.
Two.
That's an inside joke for all of y'all from Baltimore.
Bew. I heard they be booing like that. Bew. Y'all don't even know how to boo out in Baltimore. They bew.
Oh man, yeah, something about those OO words they struggle with out in be more. But shout out to everybody from Baltimore. We're so happy that you have joined us this evening. We have a hearty conversation that we would like to get your opinion on. We want you to be a part of this conversation. As my girl Constance Carter says, this is not a dialogue, but this is not a monologue. This is a dialogue, and it will not work unless you participate in the place to be. So who else is checking in, Constance?
I saw Neverport from London, England. What's happening?
Good night, Mike.
No.
Is that Australia? Cheerio, chap.
Okay.
I'm getting close to the continent. I'm sure about it.
What's up, Shaka? What's up? So listen, if you're on YouTube, I want you to run over to Facebook real quick and make sure that you subscribe and you're following Fly Nubian Queen, as well as Nobody Works Harder Than Constance Carter. And also, please make sure you're following Conversation Starters Live. As well, Rob and I, we interview celebrities on that show or that channel every Friday. So we want you to subscribe to that channel too, Conversation Starters Live. Right on, Rob, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Everywhere you see Robert Antoinette and Constance Carter, it's going to be a stone cold blast. So we suggest that you come on in, tell a friend, make sure that you're watching, supporting, and we love the support that we get. And more than anything, man, we just love talking and chopping it up with y'all. Constance, you have some of the best fans in the whole wide world.
And so do you.
Yeah, for sure. But I want to just shine a light on you right now and give you your flowers because you are a queen. And, even though some of the folks take things too seriously, let me just set this up real quick. These comments that we're getting ready to make, they're loosely based on fact.
Not loosely.
But they mostly are our opinions. And as I love to tell everybody and their mother, if they ever talk to me, I could be wrong, but I doubt it. So listen in, tell a friend, and let's get this thing going, Constance.
Well, where can they find you? Where can they follow you at, Robert?
Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. My name is Robert Antoinette. See, you can find me on Facebook. I am Robert Antoinette. Even on Instagram, I am Robert Antoinette. And even if you want to do a little business, find me on LinkedIn. I am Robert Antoinette. And even on Clubhouse, Constance Carter, I am Robert Antoinette. So come on in and holler at your boy real quick, and let's do business.
It's thousands of people logged on right now. They want to know, they want to engage in the conversation. So it's a lot of hell no's. I've seen a couple of yeses up there. I see, some folks. So Robert,
what's happening?
I've had these conversations with girlfriends. I'm in California. So I think that here is a lot different from where you are. I think it's a lot different than you are. I'm in California and it's very diverse. And there is a lot of intermixing in my area. I used to have a problem growing up with guys because where I'm from, most of the guys didn't go for Black girls. Most of the guys did not like Black women. I mean, and even if you come in, I remember I was at one of Boyce's conferences and he said, yeah, the guys in California are really strange. They don't love Black women. And that's been the experience a lot out in California is you have a lot of people who aren't interested, a lot of men who aren't interested in dating Black women. So, we kind of have, an issue. A lot of Black women kind of have an issue when you have men who don't prefer us. They prefer others. They prefer exotic women over us. And so that's just kind of been my experience in what forms my opinion on that. Now, in terms of being pro-Black and being able to date out your race, what do you think?
So I want to kind of take this thing in another direction. I am so blessed to be born in a place called Chocolate City. It's not so chocolate anymore, but when I was coming up, it was predominantly Black. Still is, but the dynamic and the demographic has changed. I will certainly say that a couple of my partners who I'm really, really cool with, they have decided to take a non-melanated queen as their bride. So I don't want to be a hypocrite because I celebrate them, and you really can't help who you love, right? Whether you love a man love another man, or a man love a Asian woman, or a South African woman. I mean, just love is love. So I respect whomever it is you choose as your bride, male or female, Black or white, or anywhere in between, right? So that's number one. However, based on what we're talking about, if you're going to stand on the platform and be pro-Black, and you don't choose a Nubian queen as your bride, your words just don't resonate, and you kind of miss the mark a little bit in the eyes of the B1s especially. And the funny thing about it, though, is that there have been so many prominent brothers who have decided to take a non-melanated bride. Take your boy Tay Diggs, Tiger Woods, rest in peace, I believe, Vernon Jordan. I mean, I was actually shocked to find out that his bride was not a sister. And I will give you this one fun fact here, y'all. This I know for sure. There is nothing like the love of a Black mother. You got to have a black mama to know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm trying to tell you right here, right now. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. There's nothing like the love, the care, the spit out your eye, love from a black mama. Period.
I don't remember. I keep seeing in the comments about Malcolm X. I don't recall Malcolm X's mom being white. I'm pretty sure she was not a white.
She was fair skinned.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was not a white woman. And so they're using that as an example. Well, Malcolm X's mama was white. Does that mean he's not pro-black? I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure that Malcolm X's mama was not white. However, you know what? I agree with you. I'm gonna go on record and say this. I believe that you can love who you can love. I believe people love whoever they want to love. And just like I said, California has been is a place where it's very integrated, and we're very accepting. I had been at when I was younger, I was jaded, right? Because it was like, we definitely ain't the first choice. They don't want black women. And then if you're dark skinned, God forbid, you really ain't getting nobody. You really ain't, So for the lighter hue of women, we may have gotten, somebody that looked our way. But if you was dark, you really, you're really by yourself, unfortunately. And that's how that was my experience growing up. I don't know that you can really love, because I love black people. I love black people. And I want the partner that I have to love black people as much as I love black people. And I don't know that a person who is not black can really authentically love black people in the way that I do, because I love black people. I mean, I will give my last for them. I will, I want to help. I want to support. I want to lift. I want to build. And for me, I don't think a non-melanated person could love black people the way I do. Now, if again, that's between you and whoever you want to date. But I know for me, I don't think I could do it just because of my love for my people.
Yeah, and on top of that, in today's climate, what the way that white folks are killing black folks, that has got to be a tough bedroom conversation if your partner is not black, right? Mm-hmm. If you're black and your partner is white, I would love to know what those conversations are like. I mean, because I know every time I see a movie like Roots, or I see a movie like Mississippi Burning, I see a movie like A Right to Kill. I forget the name, the Samuel L. Jackson. I get angry. Fruitvale Station. I get angry. When I sit and watch this, I almost said what everybody else is, the George Floyd trial. George Floyd ain't on trial. He dead. This is the Chauvin trial, right? Mm-hmm. But the defense is going to try to put George Floyd on trial when he is no longer here to defend himself. Mm-hmm. But I'd be curious if there are any listeners who are in a biracial relationship, and I'm not clowning it or downing it at all, but what is that conversation like in today's climate? I mean, it's real, right? How do you wake up in the morning and you see your brother being killed, your sons and your daughters being killed, and at the hands of a white person that you share in your bed with, that you're sitting at the breakfast table with, is non-melanated? How does that conversation go?
Yeah, I agree. There's just so many things that for me personally that I like to do. And it's not even about, because I know people say you can't choose who you love. Some people are saying over there, you can choose who you love. Who you love is a choice. But I just think that if you out there on the front lines and you saying you love black people, do you really love black people? Like, can a man really love a black woman if he? And this is just my question: Can a black man really love black people if he doesn't love a black woman the way he says?
Ooh. Yeah, that's a tough question. Like my two partners, right? I have respect for their queens, even though they are not melanated. I haven't had the gall to raise the question why, right? And it's really, really interesting, and it's pressing on me, especially now that we're having this conversation. Like, why did you make that choice? Because I mean, there are so many hues of beauty out there, and our queens are they need to be celebrated. And now in this season where they're having opportunities in the legislative capacity, I love it.
Yeah.
And, this has been a long time coming. But to your point earlier, when you were talking about darker skinned sisters, I mean, I slightly disagree.
Well, you're not in California.
Nah, chocolate syrup. Beauty is beauty. I don't care if you dark skin, light
Yeah,
skin,
but that's
brown
our
skin,
experience here in California.
caramel, butterscotch. Beautiful is beautiful, just as long as you're melanated.
Yeah, see, in California, it's like, no, you gotta. If me, I'm too dark, right? So when I was growing up, yes, they wanted women who were mixed. That was our experience. And oftentimes we're very apologetic as Black people. We got to be apologetic about how we feel about our people and about loving our people first. And if you go to any other community, if you go to the Arab community, Arabs will go with Arabs first. They care about their community first. If you look at the Jewish community, they say marry another Jewish person. They look within their community first. If you look at Asians, doesn't mean they're racist. It doesn't mean anything, but they look to their communities first. But why is it when it's Black folks, when it's Black people, and we say things about self-loving ourselves and loving our community and lifting our community and supporting our community, then we have to be racist and has to be something wrong with what we say. Just being pro-Black does not mean you're anti-white. It doesn't mean you're anti anything else. It just means you love yourself.
Say that again. Say it one more time.
Being pro-Black does not mean you are anti-white or anti anything else. It means that you look within and love yourself first. So I love everybody, but I know what we have gone through as a people. I know what we need. I know that there is a deficit within our community, and we need each other to build each other up to move the agenda forward. So it's not no diss to nobody else. And I don't want to make this into a diss to anybody else about, cavemen, all that stuff that a lot of our people will say about, non-melanated people, because it's not a diss to anybody else. Really, it's really just about celebrating who we are and looking to ourselves first, so that we can build what we need to build to make a better community for ourselves, period.
It's a whole lot of chatter going on, but man,
it's a lot.
Is heat. Did you see the smoke that's happening right now? Now, first off, let me address this whole Malcolm X thing. Shout out to Brother Malcolm and all that he taught and all that he shared with us. His legacy will forever stand amongst our people. I cannot say with clarity whether his mama was white, mixed, or Cambodian, or pecan tan, or I don't know. But what I can say is Malcolm, for all intents and purposes, I don't even know if that really enters in this particular conversation. Present day, with the climate that we're in right now, if you had to make a choice, my brothers, I'm talking to the brothers right now. If you had to make a choice, are you comfortable choosing a non-melanated sister as your bride? With all that we are facing right now, the atrocities, generational wealth gap that we're facing right now, socially we're behind, economically we're behind, in the political system we're behind. There's so many places where we need to stand together and build with one another. I'm asking you, can you logistically make that choice to step outside and go in another direction? Can you?
I don't think many of our listeners will. I don't think many of our listeners will. And somebody said, I am frightened to death of a Caucasian man. And you know what's so funny about that? My daughter today, she locked herself out of her house. So she calls me from another phone, and she's in Virginia. And so I get a call from Newport News, right? So I'm like, oh my God, this is my daughter's area. Uh-oh, what happened? Why is somebody calling me from that area? Something wrong with my baby? And so she calls me from somebody's phone. It was her next door neighbor. And she's over to the neighbor's house until she's able to get a locksmith out to, help her get in the house. Well, anyway, I called the number. When I got the locksmith, I called the number. And when you talk about the voicemail he sounded really creepy, and he sounded like an older, creepy white man. And just like that person said, I'm scared to death. I was scared to death because when that man didn't answer the phone when I called 3 times back to back, I thought the man had drugged my baby. I thought he had her up in the secret chamber. You know, you just think all of those things. And it's crazy because you see things like that all the time. And you see where, you know, they have been the predator when the things that they've done to our race, right? Well, the brutality and, you know, the hundreds and hundreds of years of just brutality that's been done to Black people. But yet they look at us in fear. No. I fear you. You're the danger. When I look at you, my brother, I don't see a danger. But when I look at them, you don't know, you know, and I'm not generalizing anybody, but when, you know, I would say historically, they're more of a danger, or they have been more of a danger to our people than somebody that looks like you.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the reality that we're in. So in spite of all that you just stated, I mean, just think about I hate to name names, I really do, but when you look at a cat like Lamar Odom, you know, I mean, he had a sister that he was with, but then he went with, you know, the powerhouse of the K's. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
It's like, Lamar, bruh, come on, man.
But he said he regretted it. He said he regretted dumping Taraji for old girl.
Slim.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You know it's hard out here for a pimp. I mean, even in that role, she could get it. But you know, I mean, again, like I said, he was in a space in time. He had a couple of moments actually. Did they have a kid together or no?
No.
Okay. She had a kid by Tristan Thompson, the other basketball player.
Yeah.
She like dating ball players, apparently.
Yeah.
Well,
so
like the brothers.
All except one, but everybody in the feed is like, no. Denise said you can't speak about Black Lives Matter. What'd she say? You can't speak about Black Lives Matter without talking about empowering the Black family. My loyalty lies within our own. And that goes back, y'all, to, you know, looking at ourselves first. One of the things, you know, George Fraser, if you don't know who George Fraser is, please follow that man. He's my mentor.
Look at this. Say, go back to this. Go back one. A lot of hate on this channel. Really? Dan, speak on it. Where you hear hate, brother? This is simply people expressing themselves about what they like and how they feel. So no hate whatsoever, Des. These are just expressions and these are opinions. So please respect that. No hate at all.
Nah, not at all. And again, just because we're pro-Black don't mean we're anti anything else. I love everybody from all walks of life. I don't have anything against anybody. But when I'm talking about community, but what George Fraser said is, he said Black people waste too much time thinking about other people and not enough time thinking about ourselves. You know, when you look at other families and other races, he said Black people thinking about white folks, and guess who white people thinking about? White folks. White people are not thinking about you. They're thinking about their families. They're thinking about their community. They're thinking about how they can build their legacies. And Black people spend so much time thinking about white people, and they're not thinking about themselves. And that's the reason. That's not the entire reason, but that's one of the reasons why we're in the state that we're in, is because we're not spending enough time thinking about ourselves.
Yeah.
Not saying that you can't get outside your race, but to say that I am pro-Black and I'm a person of the community, but yet I don't. And just like somebody said, part of being the community is also building the Black family. I agree with that.
Well, somebody say y'all not reading the Bible, and I think what they're referring to is that Jesus made the gospel available for all, because Jews thought in that time when he was coming up that all the grace and the benevolence of God was only for the Jewish people. But Jesus said that he made his grace available for the Jews and the Gentiles, right? So we will be Gentiles, all of y'all, anybody that was of non-Jewish faith, no matter what color your skin was. So now we reading from the same Bible, says whoever made that comment. We definitely just pro-Black. That's all.
So I'm asking for those who are tuning in, for you, does pro-Black mean that you're anti anything else? Because some folks on here, some people do, I do see some people don't like white people. We're not saying not to like white people. We're not saying not to love everybody else. We're just saying think community first. So are some of you of the mind that, it has to be mutually exclusive? Like if you are pro-Black, you have to hate other people? Because we are not spewing any hate. So how many people on here, and put it in the comments box, think that if you are pro-Black, you hate everybody else that's not Black?
Yeah, see that? No uplifting here. Hey, Dez, you know what? I'm about to ban you from this channel, bro. Here's the deal. There has been an atrocity levied upon your people, Dez, for over 400 years. From the moment you left the coast and the shores of Africa to come here to this place that was not your home, where your language was not spoken, where your religion was taken from you. And systematically, from the time that your ancestors came here, you have been raped, abused, marginalized, and killed. So when you hear us saying that we want to lift up every person that's melanated and every person that's Black, that is love. That is needed in this society. And it's not even an nth degree to fight what has happened to your ancestors for centuries. Not for years, but for centuries. So if you don't stand, what did Martin Luther King say? He said, if you don't stand
for something,
together, you will fall together. You will fall down as fools. If you don't stand together for something, you will fall down as fools. I don't want you to fall down looking like a fool, Joker, if you think that we are not having some love here, because we are loving on Black people, because they are the most amazing, tremendous people. I wish we had my girl on, what's her name? Phenomenal woman, phenomenally, what's her name?
Maya Angelou?
Maya, I need Maya Angelou on here to talk to you, brother. Just real quick, just to spit a few bars to let you know what's really going on here. This is all Black love, brother.
Yeah, it ain't, there's nothing, ain't nobody talking no hate on here. And it's funny, so we don't even have to address him anymore, because he's one person that thinks that just because you are pro-Black that means you got to be anti anything else, and you don't have to be. So then my next question is, okay, so what does that mean for folks? So how many people do you know are out there? Because Dr. Umar says you can't be pro-Black and have you a Becky on your arm. But would you not listen to somebody who is effective, who's out there on the front lines of the community? Would you not listen to them if they were not married to somebody that wasn't Black? Like what do you got?
Let me reset it this way. There were many, even with Dr. King, some of the speechwriters for Dr. King, they were not brothers. He had some Jewish white guys that were helping him with some of the things that he was doing. So I'm not saying that there aren't any. I hope that we're not coming across this to suggest that if you're white, you can't be pro-Black. But what we're saying is, or what you're asking, I think, Constance, is if you are on a platform for Blacks, can you ask that again? Can you be connected to?
Yeah, I mean, would you respect somebody? Would you listen to somebody who was married to somebody that wasn't Black, but that was out on the front lines, in the trenches, in with the movement, that was doing the work? Could you respect them? Would you listen to them, or would you just be like, nah?
My father always told me to respect a man until he gives you a reason not to respect him, right? And truth can come from a white person, truth can come from an Asian person, truth can come from anybody, and I will always respect the truth. However, to your question, could I respect that person? I would have to see a full character analysis and just see the whole totality of who that person is beyond their message. Because you can say a whole lot of pretty words, hello, pastors, but still be sinning at home. So it just depends on the whole full package. So it depends for me.
Okay, so we love everybody. Why not? We can't treat the Black experience the same way. Lady said pro-Black. I can't remember who, but I'm sure I heard someone say love is colorblind. Okay.
I know that.
I can listen to a person that says they are pro-Black and procreate with white. You can? Okay. I love Dr. Umar. If we get on here and talk about killing one another, that would be fine. But if we speak of loving one another, we're haters. That part, Frank Duggins, you are absolutely right. Because we ain't talking again. Because I know I got to say it for the slow people. We are not anti anything else. We are absolutely just talking about what we're talking about. We're talking about being pro-Black. So my second question is for the audience. How would you feel? Because there's a lot of pro-black people up in here. If your children dated outside of their race, would you like that? You know, some say, you know, if they can't use your comb, don't bring them home. So how would you feel?
I was hoping you didn't go here because my babies might be watching. I love all of y'all. I swear for oh Lord. Don't do it. Listen, babies, I'm talking to you right now in front of the entire world. Your daddy loves you. And I'm showing up light-skinned it.
Light-skinned?
Yeah, your grandmama and your granddaddy are both black. And I want to make sure that you understand that it is important to me that you continue to procreate with someone that has melanin, a whole lot of melanin in their skin, because our heritage is full of black love, and we want to continue that. And I don't mind you, experimenting and seeing what's out there, but when you come home and you find the one, let's make sure that they got a whole lot of suntan going on naturally. Okay?
Natural suntan.
That's just from daddy to my babies. And yes, the rest of y'all got to listen, but I was talking to my babies. So don't send me no emails. Don't be firing me up. I'm just me talking to my babies.
So earlier in my California and being rejected a lot of times by these black boys when I was growing up, I was like, I want to make sure that my boys give these young ladies the same opportunities. I remember going to a high school reunion, and there were probably maybe 10 black students that were original students from there, and they all had their spouses, and the only ones that were with black people was us and one other couple. And I mean, that's pretty much how it was. They just didn't date us, and they eventually didn't marry us. And so I used to say, I want my boys make sure that they date black women. And my boys are of the age, they're like, Mom, we want to be able to date whoever we want to date. We want to be able to, because, again, they're in California, they have their pick of the litter. A lot of these other girls are very aggressive, more aggressive than black girls, or they'll try to say, all black girls are ghetto and stuff like that. My boys haven't said that because I'll slap the black off of them. But I've heard little boys their age say that. They'll say that, they don't like black girls because, they all ghetto and stuff like that. I would slap the black off of my boys if they said something like that. And they already know. In fact, I was with my son's basketball team, and them little boys said in the car, they don't like black girls. And my son was like, oh, why did you say that in front of my mom? So of course, yeah, they got a whole tongue lashing all the way home. But my resolution to that problem, in any case, is just to send them all to HBCUs, and I ain't got to worry about it. That's how I figure that's gonna go. So
yeah, so it's funny, Constance, because when we've talked before offline in the green room before the show, see my experience is I was born at Howard University Hospital, all black. I went to a private school, but it was all black. I went to high school, it was all black. Then I ended up at Howard University, the real HU, all black. So I never had to decide which way to go. You understand what I mean? And I'm so appreciative of the experience that I had, because I know out there, like you said, in Cali, y'all are in the minority there. So I don't know what that experience is like to be in a environment where there's not more black people than white, or black people than anything else. Now, I said that the demographic is changing, but I can go anywhere in the city, U Street corridor. I can go to Prince George's County. I can go anywhere and feel safe and be at home and love what I see.
Yeah, it's definitely different. I remember when you were out here, Robert. And what did you say when you see those?
Hey, look, y'all. If y'all never been to California, Sacramento,
everywhere in California,
I've never seen a white homeless person. Never, ever. I mean, the first time I saw a white, I was like, okay, that was random. Maybe he was light skinned. Okay, but it was a whole city of white homeless people. Never seen that before in my life. And I was taken aback.
I thought that was hilarious because you were like, there are white homeless people out here. Yeah.
I ain't never seen that before in my life.
I've never seen a white homeless person. I was like, huh?
Never, ever, ever, ever have I seen that before.
That is interesting. Well, I said, welcome to the land of equal opportunity homeless because we got them all. We got them all. No, but really, I mean, I'm with you. So I'm at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell y'all this, and y'all gonna hate me for this. I'd rather my kids have a non-melanated person that treats them well than a black person that don't.
So let me reshape your sentence for you. You'd rather have somebody that treats them well than somebody who don't. Period. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Saying, and what I'm saying is, if I had to choose between a black woman who, you look a little angry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get it right, but don't say it wrong, okay?
If I had to choose between a black woman that treated them bad and a non-black person that treated them good, I'm going to go with the person that treats them good, right? However, I've taught them in such a way that not saying that they're anti anything else, because again, like I said, they're like, Mom, we can date whoever we want to. My kids, because I've rooted them in who they are from such a young age, always teaching them who they are, what they are, where they came from, about their people. My kids are so pro-black. They tell me stuff now. They show me news. They looking up stuff and like, Mom, did you, so they are so aware. They're self-aware and they're just aware socially about the plight of black folks. I don't think that they would. But if they did and she treated them well, I ain't got nothing to say. I mean, at the end of the day, I'd rather it be with a woman.
So I'm gonna make a small little segue tag. Children, your dad endorses the Latinas and the Latinos. That is a good choice.
Mm-hmm. So listen, pure intention 25. I'm not saying that they can't. I'm not saying that they can't, but I'm just saying it's not the end of the world if they don't. If this person is a good person to them, and I'm not saying that they can't find a good black woman. I'm just saying I'd rather, if I had to choose. Okay, so I'm playing devil's advocate. If I had to choose between a good non-black person and a bad black person, I'm going to choose the good person for my kids. I don't want them to be miserable. I don't want them to be in hell. I don't want none of that stuff. I want my kids to be happy. But I think my kids are so self-aware that I think they'll choose within what they know.
Yeah. So Center point me to, according to who is the black racial czar to dictate who can black people? Look, hey, Centerpoint Media, you missed the beginning. So let's reset the room real quick, y'all. My name is Robert Antwin, and along with the lovely Constance Carter, and we are having a dialogue and a conversation about, can you still be identifiable as pro-black even if your spouse is a Becky or a Todd? And it's a question to be asked because there are several prominent African-American men who have chosen to be dating outside of their race, and they married outside of their race. I told you about Taye Diggs, not to name names. I told you about Tiger Woods, not to name names. And we just want to know if that's cool with you. I think my brother Vernon, I forget his last, Jordan, he was in politics, but I think his wife was not black. So can you still hear that message? Will their platform still resonate with you if they're of another persuasion? And all the B1s in the building seem to think that that's not cool. So you're entitled to your opinion too, bro. You really are.
Yeah, absolutely. And okay, so let's talk about this because Tania Maria, she said Afro-Latina. Okay, so culturally, Afro-Latinas and Latinos aren't the same as African Americans, right? If they're born in another country. So let's talk about that. So is dating an Afro-Latina or Latino the same as dating outside your race? They have the same skin tone. They have the same, maybe the same amount of African blood in them, but their experience is not the same if they're from another country.
Sure. I mean, historically speaking, when you start talking about the slave trade, America was not the only destination. The Caribbean was littered with our people who intermingled with their oppressors, with Spaniards. Spain was real big and real heavy in the slave trade. It wasn't just European; they were French, they were Portuguese. So all of that combination happened, and that's why you have some of the hues of skin colors in Puerto Rico, and all those Caribbean areas. But to your point, Constance, you're right. It's a whole lot of African, even in Puerto Rican. So
Yeah, I was in the Dominican one day, and somebody who was with us, we had our own butler, and they were like, "So tell us about your Black culture." And he was like, "My Black culture," and he was blacker than me.
yeah, it's a shame that worldwide blackness is seen as negative, because I know there are a lot of brothers who are from El Salvador and their skin complexion is as light as mine, but they got a grandmama that's dark skinned, but they don't bring her out around family functions. They don't
Yes,
bring her out for public consumption, and it's
yes.
a damn shame. But
They call him the grandma in the closet.
yeah, grandma in the closet. Yeah.
Mhm,
Hmm.
mhm. And let's talk about that too, because there is a one drop rule here in America. We have the one drop rule, right? So in slavery, we knew if you had one drop of black blood in you, you're black. Period. Right? But in other areas, they're told, like in the Dominican or in Puerto Rico, in other areas, they're told to make sure you marry light because you need to purify the race. Marry white so you can, light, so we can get the black out, get the black out, get the black out. And even in South America, in Brazil, because Brazil is very mixed. Brazil was pretty much African or mostly melanated up until the early 1900s, where they had what was called the whitening of Brazil, and they brought over all those Europeans so that they could intermix, so that Brazil wouldn't be so black. And so they've constantly done this, and so therefore a lot of folks in the diaspora, and especially in Latin American countries, or in Latin American countries, and on islands where they were taught to hate themselves, they were taught that they weren't black. That's why when I would growing up with people in California, and you got these black people saying, "I ain't black." I mean, black is this black here, hair just is coarse. You're not black. What do you mean? I have a friend. His dad is from a different was from one of the islands, and his mom is white. And he told me he wasn't black, but he showed me a picture of a black man who was his dad, like a black man, looked like he was straight from Africa. Constance, I'm not black. No, this man is black. Nah, he's not black. He's from wherever. Um, Venezuela or something. No, there's black people in Venezuela too. So, but there's a lot of that too that you got to consider when you're talking about the one drop rule. The one drop rule here is not the same as the one drop rule everywhere else in the diaspora, and culturally it's just a different thing. So that's why I was wondering, like, are you still, or can they still be down for the struggle if they don't know our struggle?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And here's the thing. I know that and this might be a little small segue, but I'm happy to see that there are some non-melanated people in some of these non-violent protests, these peaceful protests. There are some non-melanated folks who actually are supporting the things that we've been saying and fighting for hundreds of years. So I don't mean to imply that they don't understand. They're trying to understand. They're at least having a dialogue and a conversation. But when it comes to who we support and who we are down for, it will be for the melanin in your skin.
Absolutely. I mean, I have a girlfriend who is from another country, and she considers herself black when it's beneficial.
Mm.
And that happens. When it benefits them, then they black. But when it doesn't benefit them, then they're not. And honestly, people from another country, they have a different perception of black people in America. And I don't mean to divide. And I'm okay. I don't want to blanket everybody. I don't want to blanket everybody. But I have seen, in my experience, I'll say that. uniforms. Okay, so I have seen in my experience that Black people, you know, Afro Latinos or people from other countries have a different perspective of Black people just because of what they see in the media, you know, what they heard about us, not their experiences, but they think that, you know, that we're ghetto and, you know, we're not as, you know, you know, all the things that they see in the media. And I would say that it's not their fault necessarily. I would say it's more of, you know, what they heard. Remember when Oprah went to Africa and she said the guy was like, "Hey, my niggas." And she was like, "Nigga," like dude called her, he thought he was complimenting Oprah. And she was like,
saying that perpetuated so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's, you know, what's perpetuated in the media, and then people from other countries, they see that and they'll look down on us. And so then, you know, they may sometimes minimize our experience over here.
Somebody said that sounds like the VP. What you're not gonna do is talk about my girl Kamala Harris. That's
you mean being
Black?
when it's convenient, Antonio. No, Antonio. Actually, I've now. I mean, she went to Howard University. She went to your alma mater, Rob. She is a AKA.
Antonio, I'm going to agree with you on the backhand side. You know, there have been some questionable times in her career where she seemed to tarry and straddle the fence a bit. But let me tell you a fun fact. Back in 2016,
LeVar says scandal.
What you ain't gonna do, LeVar, is talk about my girl Kamala. All right, she's Black. Damn it. No, what I was gonna say, back in 2016, I did a little experiment. I was sending resumes out to the government, USA Jobs, and they ask you, "Are you Black?" They ask you what's your ethnicity, and whenever I put Black, I didn't get any callbacks. I didn't get any hits, none of that, right? But I said, you know what? Let me figure this thing out because I'm Rob Constance, right? So I know you want me in your corporation, in your government. When I put other, I got to hit back. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I believe
when
it.
I say other, right? Or I choose not to answer. That's when I got to hit back. It was
and that's the reason why the fight is so important in our community, because of things like that, right? Because of mass incarceration, because of police brutality, because of the things that happen that other people just simply can't understand. Now, if you said that to like you had somebody else in your bed and you came back and you said, "Hey man, this is what happened," she may have been an excuse. Well, you know, it might not be that. Yeah, maybe it was because of this, or maybe it was because of that. It might not necessarily mean, you know, or, you know, you get pulled over by the police. Well, maybe it might not have been. And sometimes they just can't relate.
It's like the chick who said, "I'm going to tase you. I'm going to tase you," and shot my man.
You cannot know the difference between a taser and a Glock. Like a Glock.
She verbalized it out loud. "I'm going to tase you," right? Had no idea the texture, the feel, the weight, the color is different. And when you have it out in front of you, oh, by the way, you can see it.
There's nothing in my mind that makes me believe that she didn't know what she was doing.
Yeah.
She was fully trained. And how long has she been on the force?
I don't even care. I don't care if she's on it for 2 months.
There is nothing in my mind to make me believe that she didn't know what she was doing. And sometimes, you know, you just need an excuse. Sometimes
I think she was trying to put on. I think she was trying to put on a performance for the camera because she had the body cam on, right? So she said, you know, "I'm going to tase you." That's just for the show. I mean, she wanted to. Yeah. I hope they fry her ass. Whatever happens, you know.
She resigned.
Huh? Yeah, I know she resigned. Now I'm hoping that there are criminal charges, you know, because I saw something
20 years.
Mallory. Peep that the coldest thing I ever saw. She said that racism or she said killing Black people is not a problem. It's a crime, and it should be treated as such, right? You can't train racism out of the police force or something like that. She said, And I'm gonna find it. Actually, let me find it real quick.
They said she'd been on the force 26 years, Rob.
Wow.
26 years she had been on the force. And you mean to tell me this woman doesn't know the difference between a Glock and a taser? There's nothing in the world that you can tell me. And who actually says, I'm going to tase you, I'm going to tase you in a way where you're performing, where you're saying it so that they can clearly hear you?
Right.
She probably woke up that day and said she wanted to shoot a Negro.
Get me one. I'm gonna get me one.
To kill one today.
Darky. I'm gonna get a darky today.
Yeah.
Well, I can't find it, but it said the American policing system cannot be reformed. Let me find that, Johnny. But it's sad. It really, really is.
And the boy got pulled over because he had air freshener in his rear view mirror. That's why he got pulled over. They said they pulled him over, and that was the story I heard. I don't know if anything's changed today, but he had air freshener in his rearview mirror. And why they were arresting him, I'm still unclear as to why they were arresting him. And they said they were smiling after she shot him. 2 words, Amber Geiger. Yeah. There are psychopathic cops. Amber Geiger, the one who shot the guy in Texas who went into his apartment and killed him. Talking about she thought it was her apartment, looked around, seen that the apartment was totally different from her apartment, but killed that brother anyway. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah. So here's what Tamika Mallory said. She said, racism can't be trained away. Racists must be punished. So racism cannot be trained away, for all of you police chiefs out there who are watching this wonderful broadcast. Racism or racists, these people, they must be punished. And given and throw the book at their ass, as a matter of fact, while you at it.
So the problem is that the KKK and all of these racist organizations are getting together and saying that the way we can really make a difference, the way we can really make an impact is if we join the police force. And we can do that from the beginning. They've been doing that. But
before they were an officer, they were called overseer. Before they were officer, they were overseer.
And so what needs to happen at this point, I interviewed a young, there was a young man in Stockton, California. I interviewed his dad last Monday, and his name is Devin Carter. He was brutally beat. He's 17 years old. And if you guys don't mind me showing you guys this really quick, I'm going to show this to you.
Don't fucking move. Take your seatbelt off. Take your fucking seatbelt off.
Okay. I'm down. I'm not resisting. Ow. Get off. I'm not resisting. Yeah, you are. Give him your hand. Give him your hand. Give him your fucking hand. Give him your hand. Give me your fucking hand. Give him your hand. Fucking hand. Ow! Give him your hand! Here. I'm on it. I'm done. I got one. Give him your other hand. Ow! Give him your hand! Give him your hand! Your fucking hand, asshole! There. Ow! Yank it. Ow! Yank it. Ow! Double up. I'll throw him in a car.
Stand up.
Huh?
They're on the tight.
Yank it.
Ow.
Stand up. Okay, I'm done. We have a driver in custody. 8 Mile Davis. I'm not resisting. Stop moving. I'm not moving. Do as you're told. What don't you understand about that? Negative. You get a code 3.
Oh, I'm not moving. Ow.
He's trying to fucking handcuff you.
Stop. There. He's got me, sir. Oh, can you?
And 8 to 4 and 6, we pitted the vehicle here.
I'm not resisting. I'm not resisting.
Yeah, you are. Give him your hand. Give him your hand.
Give me your fucking hand.
Give him your hand.
Give me your fucking hand.
Fucking fucking in. Give him your hand. Fucking
Here. Oh. Yeah.
Give him your hand.
Here. I'm done.
I got one.
Put
Give him your other hand.
Ow.
Give him your hand. Give him your hand.
Your fucking hand, asshole. Here. Ow.
Cuff him. I got this. Go on, Warren.
Ow.
Double lock it. I'll throw them in our car. Stand them up so I can double lock.
Huh?
They're hella tight.
Ow.
Y'all, this boy was 17 years old. He's 17. That's what he looked like. Little rosy red cheeks. This is what he looked like after the police got done with him. Those are boot prints on this boy's face. This is what he looked like after the police got done with him. Okay. So what somebody asked, what was he doing? He was on his way home to his dad's house on New Year's Eve. And the police said he was going 100 miles an hour on the street that you could only really go like 35, 40 miles an hour on. And his dad was on the show, and his dad said when he pulled over, he clipped the median divide. And had he been going 100 miles an hour, it would have been impossible for the car to not be destroyed. They lied. The police told the parents when they pulled him over that he had killed 2 people, told his parents. He hit somebody, killed 2 people. He was going to jail for murder. They told the parents that when he went to the hospital, they told the nurse asked the boy, because they wouldn't let the parents in. The boy is a minor. So he goes to the hospital. The nurse asked if the police did this to him. The police spoke for him and said, no, he got into a fight. I mean, they just told lie after lie after lie after lie. It took them 90 days to release the footage. And when they finally released the footage, after trying to figure out how they could try to cover this up, they fired 2 of the 4 police officers, but there's 2 still on the force. So this is what's going on. This is what's happening. So, 17-year-old boy. And I think about, my son is, almost 17, the same age as this boy. His parents taught at the Christian school my daughter used to go to, my kids used to go to. His mom was a principal. His dad was a teacher at the Christian school that my kids went to. And, just a kid on his way to his dad's house. And this is what happens. And the reason why I showed it is because I want to continue to make sure that we sear this in people's minds to let them know. This is why we say, when we talk about, be one, this is why we say be one. And it's not anti anything else. It's simply looking out for ourselves. And when we talk about policing, and that was my point, when I mentioned that, these racists join the police force, either we need to start figuring out how to police our own, or we need to to get on the police force. There needs to be more of us so that we can weed out the racism that you talked about, Rob.
Yeah, it's really sad to I'm kind of pissed watching that, you know. It makes it tough to really trust police officers. I read an article here locally in the DC area where recruiting officers were saying it's really, really hard to recruit Black people to be on the police force. And the funny thing is that they're going to have a study about why that is. And it's hard to have us be associated or affiliated with such a corrupt organization, right? Systemic, racist organization that nationally has disenfranchised our people for so many years. So shout out to all the good Black cops out there. Shout out to all the good cops, period. But you know, we have been it's been seared in our mind, like you said, Constance, that Popo. I mean, nobody wants to talk to the Popo that I grew up with. Nobody wants to talk to, even join the force, because of what you just showed. And I mean, that's just disturbing. I mean, you know.
Yeah. You know, remember our friends.
It's not the right platform for me to say what I really want to say.
Yeah, I don't even know if I want to encourage you to say what you really want to say.
You don't want to encourage me.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, this boy, so obviously his parents had to talk with him, right? At least probably his dad did. And he had his hands on the steering wheel. His hands were clearly visible. He had to take off his seatbelt, and they still beat this boy down, cursed him out, and so that's why they fired. You know, they're not supposed to be using unprofessional language. They're not supposed to be, you know, overdoing it, and they clearly overdid it. And even if this boy, even if he did hit somebody and kill two people.
Yeah, because if he was a white kid, they would have handled him with white gloves and
they would have went down to some Burger King.
Gently removed him.
Gently, he might have just been having a bad day, Rob. He might have just been having a bad day. And so when we talk about this, you know, these are real issues that happen in our community, and I just believe that, you know, we have to. I just love us. Don't hate nobody else. I love us, and we need the most help. You know, when you look at anything, like any statistics, like anything that's bad, we're at the top, and everything that's good, we're at the bottom, right? Or if you turn it around, everything that's good, we're at the bottom, and anything that's bad at the top. Or did I just say the same thing? In any case, we need help, and we didn't get here by ourselves. Of course, it was the system that got us here, but we are the people that we need to depend on to get us out of it. We can't depend on nobody else to get us out of it.
Yeah. So woo! I am.
You okay?
Disturbed.
You okay?
No, not really. I mean, it's just, you know.
Well, think about this, Rob. Your son is 18.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you send your sons out to do everyday errands, the dream that we were told that was a part of the American dream, the inalienable rights that we learned about in school. When you send your babies out, you expect them to come home.
Yeah.
And you don't expect them to be harassed by the people who we pay for their salaries to do what their car says, to protect and serve.
Yeah.
But when they beat and murder us, it is unsettling.
And they keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's always an accident, but they never accidentally kill white people.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how that works. We always get accidentally killed, but they just never seem to kill. Oh, I was watching a video yesterday. Somebody had posted on their page, and there was a guy, and you guys probably have seen it on YouTube. There was a guy, you know, the officer was really nice to the guy. He had pulled over a truck, and he went and, you know, he was, I guess, giving him a ticket, and he asked him, well, do you have a firearm? He was like, yeah, I got a firearm. He was like, okay.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, do you mind giving it to me? Because I don't feel really comfortable with you, you having this firearm. So the guy takes it out. He walks around the truck, acts like he's getting ready to give it to the police officer, and he shoots him like 6 or 8 times, kills him right there on the spot. I could have never in a million years, and I'm 100% sure that same kindness, that the same benefit of the doubt will be given to somebody that looks like you, Robert. You said you had a firearm. What would have happened? What was that young brother that told the police officer he had a firearm and still got killed? Told the police officer with his woman in the car?
Yeah.
It always seems to happen. And it's a scary thing getting pulled over by the police. It is scary. You know, I'm looking for a car for my kids, my oldest son right now. I'm looking for the car that has the least attraction on it. You know, that wouldn't be a police magnet. So I know you can't get.
You don't get your ass on there and get that Honda Accord with no rims.
We're right.
No tints. You will not be cool today.
Absolutely not. If you don't go get you I don't know, some little square box car. But, you know, those are things that we have to do while their little friends could do whatever they want to do. Oh, yeah. Philando. Yes, Philando, that brother. Yeah. Told the police officer he had a firearm and was not given the same grace. And so one of the brothers that I had on the show last week, he said, we got to start policing ourselves. We got to stop calling the police on each other. And I'm like, well, how do we do that? I'm still trying to figure that out. Something happens. How do we not call the police? And a lot of these people get killed also for mental health calls. So when they're calling because somebody didn't have a nervous breakdown or something like that, they end up getting killed. So in those instances, do your best to try not to call the police.
Here's what I would say to each and every one of you. This topic has kind of gone off the rails, but I will end it with this because I really am getting angry. This is why it's more important than ever than you vote. And when you're trying to tell your babies a career choice, teach them to be a part of the political system so that they can be in a decision-making position so that we can help to curb some of the stuff that's happening. And if we have the right people in place, these atrocities will be dealt with in the manner that they should be. We don't need to have another Rodney King to happen. We don't need to have, you know, another white police officer get off with not guilty. We need them to be held accountable. But the only way that we can do that is if we're in legislative branches of government or in decision-making capacities in our political system so that we can affect change the way that it needs to be. And
yes.
I mean everything in me.
It's called qualified immunity. And these police are able to get away with this stuff because of qualified immunity. And
some cities have voted that out or ended it or something like that.
Yeah, and a lot haven't. And everybody needs to get rid of that. And you know, just like you said, what Tamika Mallory said, you can train. What did she say?
So you can't train racism out of I'll find it. But it needs to be punished. Your racism can't be trained away. Racists must be punished.
They must be punished.
Your racism
and, you know,
cannot be trained away. I
love what Joseph said. Powernomics is the keys to the kingdom. You are absolutely right. And if you look at powernomics and how we need to organize, that's absolutely the way. That's what we need to do within our community. If now that book by Dr. Claude, you know, Dr. Claude, I'll say Dr. Claude. If that book was a little bit smaller to read, I think more Black folks will read it.
Yeah, those version.
Yeah, we need the Cliff Notes. We just need the summary. But that's exactly what we need to do in our community. Is powernomics.
It's Dr. Claude Anderson.
Dr. Claude, yeah, I said Jean Claude. Where did I get Jean Claude? Dr. Claude.
Jean-Claude Van Damme in your mind.
Maybe it was that. Maybe it was just, maybe it was that. But Dr. Claude. But we definitely listen. At the end of the day, You know, it's about black and white, but it's also about green. And he who has the green has the power. And if we can build our community, and this is why we have these discussions too, if we can build our community and we could practice collective economics, we could be so far ahead of the game, and could nobody infiltrate us like they did back in Greenwood back in the 1930s. Nobody could infiltrate them, and they had to come and have bombs and have bombs come from the air and burn down the towns in order to stop us. And we rebuilt. And guess what stopped us? Guess what stopped us? You know what stopped us, right? You know what killed Black Wall Street. Yep. Integration. And so I'm not saying that we need to segregate, but what I am saying is we need to practice collective economics, and that will be the differentiator in our community. Word.
Well, it's been a great dialogue. I was happy to hang out with you, Constance. Always love your perspective. And for those of you who are listening, participating, commenting in the feed, love y'all back. Love your energy. Your voice does matter. And just know that the entire world is watching right now as you comment and you participate in this dialogue and this conversation that we're having. But we implore you to make sure you continue this dialogue with your babies, with your coworkers, with your non-melanated friends, and let them know what time it is. And we definitely want to see you out there being active and being a part of this conversation.
And we love you back, Miss Ethel. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I'm Constance Carter. And at the end of the day, you know, I would say this: choose who you want. Everybody has the freedom to do whatever they want to do in life. You know, I say be one.
Find a black man. Find a black woman. Black. Black. Get you a black car.
See,
black TV.
That's that Washington, D.C. We don't do that. We don't do that over here.